Right, Julio. Well, thank you very much for doing this. Let's go ahead and start with the first question I ask everybody. Where were you born and raised?
I was born here in Indio, California. Born and raised, and I'm still here.
And what was it like living there growing up?
It was pretty basic. It's a very small town, and a lot of Hispanic community. So I guess we adapted to it. We had no drama here, and it was pretty comfortable living.
What were you like as a kid growing up? Were you kind of crazy? Were you quiet? What were you like?
Actually, I was from all my brothers. I was maybe the rowdy one. I was always very energetic. I was always the one, going fast on the quads and jumping off of the building. If you said I couldn't do it, you dare me to do something, I would do it.
And what was your relationship with your parents and your brothers and sisters growing up?
We were blessed. We had a very good family, and thank God we sure do. My brothers and ourselves were like best friends. We're real close. We were raised well. Our parents, they're still together. They've always been together, and like I said, we've been blessed with a good family. We have two sisters, and you guys know all my brothers, and when we see each other every day. We all live within about 3 to 5 mile radius, and we see each other every day. I own a ranch here locally in Coachella where I have a lot of animals and horses and so forth. And this morning we were riding horses all together again.
What was your relationship with both your brothers, Joel and Antonio?
We're like best friends. I mean we chill out like for like regular friends. We go out sometimes, have drinks like regular friends. We party together, and we just see each other like friends. We cap on each other, we bang on each other, we play pranks on each other, and it works. It works for us.
And what type of student were you in school growing up?
Student wise, I gotta say I was just a basic student. I never stood out there in my school. I always maintained to myself. I just did what I was supposed to do, and that's it. I never did the extra. Fortunately, I never strived to do any better, even though I could. I just did enough just to graduate, and that's it. Never got involved in no sports because I was always in boxing. I never got involved in no other programs. No, I never attended nothing. I just went did my class and went back to home, and that's it.
What would you say was your best or favorite subject in school?
You know what? I've always been very good in art, and I enjoyed art and pottery, and I always did well in art. And I was a good people person. I was very friendly with everybody. I like to joke around a lot. I like to make people laugh. And I was a prom king, and I never had a big entourage of friends or anything like that, because I was with my girlfriend, not my wife. So we were freshmen, so we stuck just with her. I really never had a whole group of friends. It was just her and I, and even till now, we're still together. I've been with my wife since about 14 years. I've been married since we were freshmen, and we never broke up a single day. We got four kids together, and we've done all right. I can't complain.
What kind of pastimes did you do when you were a kid?
You know what? I've always been an outdoor person, even to this day. I like when it's summer. You'll always find me in the lakes, and the rivers, on the jet skis, on the boat. When it's winter, you'll find me in the dunes with the quads, the motorcycle, the sand reel. That's my thing. And right now in my off time, we ride horses. We have horses at my ranch. I have a lot of roosters. That's my thing. That's my hobby right now. I love roosters, breeding roosters, and that's I keep it pretty basic. If I'm not at home, I'm at the ranch.
Even things that you consider to be your hobbies or pastimes pretty much keep you well conditioned then.
Well, yeah. You know what? And even now, just recently this year, I got into biking through a friend. Mountain biking and extreme mountain biking. It was really, and I didn't know it would be so fun. I never imagined myself using a bike just because I didn't want to wear the helmet. I just thought I'm funny with the helmet, but you know what? It's so fun, and we have a blast with that. We do a lot of hiking now, and I like camping a lot. I'm just an outdoor guy. I'm real basic. I don't like, you won't find me around the malls, nightclubbing. I'm not into that big city things. I'm really basic. I enjoy the ranch. I enjoy the hiking, the camping, the outdoor stuff, the rivers, the lakes, and keeps me away from trouble.
What were you like with other kids, whether it be in school or out and about?
In high school, I gotta say I had a lot of trouble, a lot of fights. I guess any boxer who's making it these days will tell you the same stories. No matter how good you are, how perfect you try to be with people, just the fact that say you're a boxer, you're a target. People try to mess with you, they'll try to pick on you, try to challenge you, just to say that, they fought with you. And I was always into those kind of problems when I was in high school. Even as to the day I graduated to a senior, I had a lot of trouble in high school.
And what were some of the first memories that you have, whether it be as a kid, to have been watching boxing on TV? What do you remember about the sport of boxing or some of your first memories of that?
the first thing that pops in my head was I always dream of having a ring entrance like Julio Cesar Chavez. I would get chills when I was a little kid just to see him walking in the ring with the himno nacional, Mexican anthem. That was just, yeah, I would get chills just watching Chavez walk in the ring. I mean, basically, that's all I enjoyed. The fight itself, but that's the only thing that comes to my head first. It was just so much spirit and so much meaning into that ring walkings that he used to do.
And that patriotism too of the fans
Yeah,
going for him
exactly.
because of
Patriotism.
him being from Mexico, the flag, like you said. What do you remember about the first time you walked into a boxing gym?
To make the story like clear, I wasn't interested in boxing. My three older brothers, they started going to the gym. They were close by my house, walking by, riding bikes. They ran into the gym. They came in there, and all of a sudden, I remember when they told my dad they could go to the boxing gym, and then again, and then again, and then again. I mean, I just wanted to be with my brothers. I was like, "Where are you guys going?" "Oh, to the gym." "I want to go." Whether any gym it was, I just wanted to go with them. So I would go to the gym just to be with my brothers. I didn't want to be at home. And coming to know little by little, I started coming into it a little more. I put some gloves on, and then I sparred, and then and once you know it, here I am.
And once you started doing that, like you said, your heart wasn't in it at first, but as you started doing it, did you start liking it, or did it take a long time for you to start getting that interest inside you to start doing it regularly?
From the beginning, I guess what my trainer and everybody says, that I was naturally talented when I started doing it, and then I started feeling attention, that hey, come here, come here, we're gonna go to this tournament, and so forth, so forth. They started treating me a little different, so I started enjoying that more than anything, and then I started doing good in amateur boxing. I started enjoying the attention, and then when I saw my brothers doing good, I saw the attention they were getting, and so forth. I go, I want some of that. So I just wanted to be like them and represent myself the way they were. And now that they're where we live, I mean, the Diaz brothers were it, anywhere you go. And I just wanted to accomplish something myself so I could be walking around like them, so they not only be their brother, I wanted to be, myself. And that's what it was for a little bit. And then once I was in high school, my girlfriend at that time, she got pregnant. I was a senior in high school. And I mean, I didn't have a dollar in my pocket, I barely had a bike. I was like, what am I going to do, So I wanted to go to the Olympics. I was in good standing. I was doing good in amateur. I remember I was in the nationals in Colorado Springs up there, the USA, and that's when she called me when I was up there. And I did very well up there. So when I came back, we were supposed to go back for a training camp. There I go, and then when they told me, "Oh, yeah, you win money in professional boxing," oh, you know what? I got this baby on the way. The hell with that. There goes the Olympics. So I turned pro really quick. That's why they called me the kid because I didn't even have a mustache. I look like a 12-year-old turning pro.
What was your amateur career like?
It was fun. I mean, we traveled a lot. I did good. I won a lot of nationals, silver gloves, and so forth. Almost every tournament I went to, I would win, and I mean, I did pretty good, And I fought over 100 and some fights. So I mean, I was pretty busy. But then I just decided to turn pro because I had a baby on the way, and that's when I got serious about the sport. That's when it stopped being fun and became my job and my responsibility.
Would you say it's important for someone to have an extensive amateur career, or does it depend on the individual and their style?
I guess somewhat it depends on the individual, but I got to incline myself more to it's definitely very, very important. When you have a person who's come and it's been proven. I mean, when they have a good amateur background, they'll be successful throughout their professional career because the amateur process teaches you so much, off the bat that when you walk in the professional, when it really counts now. In amateur, you could have a loss, loss tomorrow, loss there. Well, it's no biggie, but you're learning off of that loss. That way, when you're pro or loss, 2 losses, 3 losses could be the end of your career. And that way, you already know, pretty much you're getting those mistakes you're making, you get that out of the way in your amateur. So when you walk in where it counts as a pro, you don't do it. And plus, it teaches you so much, so much experience you get, just being in the ring and you work on your nerves, the ring, the lights, the tension, the people. It just prepares you, I think. It prepares you very much. It's like a college for when you finally get a job.
But was there other factors also that made you want to go to pro?
No. I mean, in fact, everybody told me, everybody was against it. My trainers, my parents, my brothers, everybody were very disappointed that I was doing that. They were all hoping for me to make the Olympics. They raised me. My whole career was based on going to the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden I broke the news to them that, no, I was going to go pro. So everybody was mad for a while. I let everybody down there, but I try to make it by being successful and pro. But I had to do what I had to do. I go, what's the fastest way I could make something of myself and start generating some kind of income? Now that I got a baby on the way, I go, I've been boxing for over 10 years. That's one thing I know how to do pretty good. Let's turn pro. Let's start fighting, but for money. And I'm being straight up with you. It's basically what it started out to be. And then once you're in it again, everything starts taking over, Now you have this dream of being a world champion and feeling accomplished. The money, you just don't cut it. You want to feel accomplished. You want to have something to show for. You want a title. You want to be ranked. You want to be known. And once you're known, you want to be a superstar. Once you're a superstar, you want to be a bigger superstar. That's why you see these fighters sometimes they don't stop. That's why you see like a Manny Pacquiao and like a De La Hoya. They have people like us. We think about it something like, man, you have so much millions already. Why are you still in it? Why do you go through the diets, the hard trainings, and all the sufferings we go through? And there it is. It's just never enough. I always said, I just want to be able to make a living and buy my house, and that's it. Once I bought that, I want another one. You want another house, you want another title, and you want another this, another that. Boxing is just something that takes over you. That's why you get all these fighters always, they don't know when to quit.
Isn't greed evil and it could come back to bite you in the ass?
Yes, it does. And that's why you always got to have self-control of everything, and that's always been my main thing. I've always been I'm a very proud person. That's sometimes has been my downfall in certain things, I'm very proud, and sometimes I don't think for the smartest move or it's for my best benefit. I always do something with pride,
And besides Chavez, what other boxers did you like?
Oh man, so many. I enjoyed late Diego Corrales. He was a fighter that always performed. Arturo Gatti, he was a warrior. I enjoy every fighter, because I know what it takes to be up there. And there's fighters out there that in the garage training right now that nobody will ever know because nobody ever gave them a chance. And they're superstars. Everybody has something to bring to the table. That's why you always respect every fighter, every opponent, always. I put up good show and people appreciated that. And everybody's like, when are you fighting again? When are you fighting again? Whether you lose or win, I've always thought just give a good performance and people will want you back. People will pay to see you because at the end of the day, it's a show. It's entertaining. People just want to see a good show. You know what I'm saying?
You started your first pro career, your first fight. What do you remember about going through the drapes for the first time to go to the ring? Were you nervous or was it pretty natural to you?
No, I thought it was pretty natural. And I was a nerve wreck. It was scary. And I guess for me, even more because I had all that pressure behind my head of all my family that was a man, my coaches, my brothers, and everybody I knew that told me, oh, you see, why you're doing that? You should go to the Olympics. You're too young. You're like a little kid. You look at your body. You're too small. You're not mature. And I was like, man, I hope they're not right, So I had all that pressure, all their voices behind my head. So I walked in my first fight with a lot of pressure. I was trying to prove to everybody that I can make it because I want to get off the ring and everybody look at me and say, I told you. So for me, it was very hard, but not because of the pro fight itself. It was because of my personal situation. I had my ears were ringing, and a lot of people want to see, and they all want to see me get knocked out. So they could have told me, you see, you were too young.
And what would you say the transition and the difference between the amateurs and having the headgear and heavier gloves and all that to the pros? Did it feel better because the gloves were lighter and you had no headgear, or did that make it scarier because the punches hurt more?
For me, it felt a lot better. I've always been a fighter not concerned about me getting hit or me hurting. I'm always more on the offensive side. I want to hurt you. I want to hit you. I felt I had power, but when I turned pro, and I will hit these guys, and with these little gloves, you feel it crisp, and I will see them go down. I was like over 10-0 and 10 knockouts, all in the first, second, third round, whatever. I was like, man, so I do have power. So that just blew out my head. I was walking around like a beast, I just felt like a powerful guy. So I enjoyed the pro now. It was a slower pace, but I knew I had power. I knew as soon as I hit you, you were going to go down. So I was enjoying it.
What did it feel like fighting here in California or around your home area?
I enjoyed a lot when I fought here in Coachella in the hometown because we always had a big crowd, a big sellout, and we always gave good performances for the people. We were coming with mariachis or bandas and after parties and la la la. It was always very festive. Everybody came, everybody got drunk and enjoyed the fights and left, and it was a happy time. We were always selling out, so I enjoyed every time. It will spark you up. It will make you perform just to hear the people here. They appreciate it a lot.
What was it like fighting in the Playboy Mansion?
Oh yeah, that was well. The first time I didn't really know what it meant. I just went and fought. I wasn't, but after the second time I fought there, after and I saw, with others, the girl next door, the show, and this and that. Now you knew more about the Playboy Mansion. So when I went, I mean, it was a lot more exciting. I enjoyed it a bit more.
And one of the first fights I remember seeing you in was against Justo Ascension in New York. What do you remember
Right.
about that fight?
Oh man, that was the best fight of my life. I mean, that's the most gratifying fight for me because I went against all odds in his hometown and very criticized for taking the fight. He was a prospect, an Olympian kid, an undefeated kid. I went to his hometown and we were booed. They threw cups of beer at us. They were this and that. We were being escorted. At one point, I was like, man, what am I doing here?
And he was undefeated like you were.
Yes, and he was a southpaw. I was like, what did I get myself into? And then when the bell rang, I was in a zone. I was in a zone, and it was a very, very gratifying fight for me.
Would you say it's important to have boxers go through something like that, though, through an environment like that where you're going to be the underdog and against the other person's hometown crowd?
No, I think every fighter, whether you like it or not, they have to be tested. That's part of being tested. You got to try different territories, different. You can't always be babied and have the red carpet. And you always gotta, go through goods and bads. I think you gotta get stunned a little bit, maybe rocked, maybe dropped, and that way maybe you gotta get cut. That way you know if you're scared of blood. Because I mean, I tell you from personal experience. I mean, some fighters break under pressure. Some fighters I've seen it in other people's hometown. Oh, I'm getting booed. Everybody don't like me, and they break. They freeze up. And some fighters like myself, in that case, when I was in that case, I got more amped up. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna show these guys, and I got this other kind of anger, and it pumped me up. It can go either way. You get intimidated or you get amped up, and even a cut. Some people get cut, they get angry. Some people get cut, they see blood, they break.
And of course, after Dario, you fight Angel Man Freddy. You lose by a questionable decision. If it wasn't for those points deducted in I believe in the 4th and 9th or 10th round or something like that,
Right.
if it wasn't for those, you would have won because you obviously won on somebody's scorecard. You got a split decision.
Yeah, well, I thought I won the fight. I mean, Letterman had me by far all the rounds. Letterman on HBO.
Right.
I worked him, I punched him, I landed him. All the numbers were by far on my side. I don't know how I won the fight, but sometimes it's the sad part of boxing.
You went ahead and fought after Manfredi. You fought another fight, and then you fight in Lemoore, California. I was there for the fight. I was there actually sitting right behind the commentators. What happened in that fight? You go in, you're the main event against Juan Valenzuela El Pollo.
Yeah.
Of course, that fight only lasted one round.
Look, and it's crazy because a few times I say it because, like I told you, going back to I'm a guy with a lot of pride. If it's in my favor or not, I'm straight up. I tell you, if you're good, you beat me, and if you're stronger, you're stronger. And I don't care, that I'm straight up with that. That's why I hardly ever say it. I don't like excuses. And this guy got me good, and it is what it is. And I moved on, And after his, I proved what I am. I got 2-time world titles and so forth, so forth. That's what I tell you. But it's interesting how the sport is. Anything, sometimes people don't know, and something could go wrong, and people don't know it. See, and it's so dumb and insignificant, but look at what happened. I get to the dressing room. We're supposed to go live on ESPN too. And then we were warmed up, all ready to go. I was supposed to go up in 2 minutes. And then they go, oh, no, wait a minute. We have a back something on the TV. There was like a national hockey tournament live, or, they got backed up for something. So they go, Diaz, sit down. This is in the dressing room, right? You're going to wait about 10 minutes. So I wait 10 minutes. And they go, okay, you're going to be up in 5. So we start breaking a sweat again, right? And it was cold. They had those tents in the outdoor, remember?
Right.
So that was our dressing room. So I warm up again, and then they go, no, wait a minute. It's going to be like 15 minutes. So I sit down again. And as I sit down, I started getting colder, and I put a sweater on top of me, and then I started getting that downfall. I started getting sleepy and lazy. And after that, they come in 20 minutes later. Okay, Diaz, you're up in 5. Let's get ready. So going live now. I was like, okay. I just couldn't get going no more. I was yawning and yawning. I got so lazy. I just couldn't get going. And I remember clearly in my head because I was undefeated. I was so good, and I felt confident. I go, this guy, he had almost a lot of losses. He had no knockouts. I told my brother Antonio and my trainer Lee, they go, hey, come on, you got to break us. So I go, it's okay, Lee. I'll take the first round inside to warm up. This guy can hit, I go, let's go, Lee, let's go. Because I warm up in the ring. The first round, I'll take you to warm up. I'll box around. I said, okay, let's go. I wasn't worried. And look what happened. It caught me. My whole body was cold. I was frio, man. My body was just asleep. I was asleep. And I walked in there on purposely. I go, it's okay, man. Let's go in there, take the first round to warm up. I'll fill them out, and no problem. This guy can't even hit. I clearly said that to him. And look what happened. My body was just so asleep.
And I think you already answered the question that I had, which was, since I couldn't believe it, I was thinking, was Juan that strong, or did he just happen to catch you? But I think you already answered that, saying that Juan didn't have a lot of knockouts in his record, which means that he couldn't have been that strong to knock you out in the first round with one punch.
Yeah. And I think he was blessed too. I mean, it's fair for everybody. He did something with me, and then he got the next fight they threw him with Ricardo Williams.
Anyways, you fight a few fights up after that. You fight the guy I was talking about a bit ago, Ernesto Baby Cepeda. What do you remember about that fight?
That was an exciting fight for me. That was the first fight where I won a big bear. I got a good training camp and so forth. We fought at a pay-per-view on HBO card in Mandalay Bay. So, I mean, I was excited. It was a big card for me. And I performed well. Baby Cepeda was on top of his game at that point, and he was a heavy hitter. And I did pretty good. I mean, I enjoyed that fight. I was happy with the way it turned out.
Not only that, just to see or to know how good you were, of course, during all your career, but especially during that time that a lot of boxers don't do nowadays. But you fought Baby Cepeda. Right after that, you fought Miguel Angel Huerta, who was a big, fighter too, very tough competitor.
Miguel Angel Huerta has been the toughest fighter I've ever fought in my life. And I mean, I fought Castillo in his prime. And I fought all these guys,
Right. You fight Huerta, you fight Burton. Courtney Burton, of course, is really good. Javier. Yeah. And then you fight, of course, Castillo and so on. It's like you fought all those guys in a row. A lot of people, they don't do that. They usually, after a loss, they kind of take it easy to rack up wins again. You just ended up fighting, all these guys in a row that were top competitors or some of the best fighters, like Miguel Angel Huerta. He was a really strong guy. You guys had very good exchanges. At one point, I thought he was going to have you down during that fight, and at the end, you come out with the TKO in the 8th.
Yeah. And like I said, it just goes to show you what you got in you. That's why I'm always proud of myself, Some people get dropped and that's it. It's downhill from there. And I always come back and defend my victory. And I break him down and I get more dangerous. And, some people appreciate that and they still remember that. And it's unfortunate when I beat Burton, a big Burton, and I beat him and then I get a title shot with Howdigi. I get my first world title, and they don't do anything with it. I'm sitting around almost a year. I can't defend. So they threw Castillo. And I took it. I didn't care against all odds on me. They were already planning to fight with Corrales again. Same situation with Manfredi, Spadafora. They're already announcing Corrales and Castillo after me. So I knew it was going for a long shot. And he roughed me up. His experience beat me. He never knocked me out. He never hurt me. You could see the fight. I was never in the ropes, never in trouble. It was just those headbutts and all those tactics that he has. His experience. He's a veteran. He roughed me up. And I couldn't see that at the end. I just took a knee myself. Like I told you, I got too much pride. I was like, man, I don't know if I'm looking like a punching bag. How bad is my face? I can't see off one eye. My other eye is completely open. And the blood coming in my eye, I couldn't see. I thought I was a wreck. I go, man. I'm looking like a piñata here, and I was looking for any excuse to take a knee. And that's where we had a big problem with my corner because they should have made that decision. They shouldn't have left it on me to do it and make me look bad. I didn't want to quit. In the corner, they told me a bunch of times, how do you feel? I told them, I can't see. And how do you feel? I can't see. I was like hoping to get the hint, trying to tell you something because the cameras are there,
He's supposed to be your eyes on the outside.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, man. I go, okay, well, they ain't catching it, so I better do something about it. And if you see the fight, you can even see it on YouTube. You'll see that last knockout. He kind of gave me like a little swing that it didn't really land, and I took a knee. And right when he counted, I stood up. I was fine. I didn't want to get knocked out on my back or get really hurt.
What would you say were his biggest points or strengths in his technique or in his fight?
Castillo?
Yeah.
I never felt his punching power. He's strong body-wise. Like, he'll grab you, he'll pump you up and push you. That's what he is. But I think his strongest point was his experience, his veteran experience, his colmillo, they call it, his tactics, he's like Hopkins, Hopkins will make any good fighter look bad.
At that point, was there ever thoughts of maybe I should be doing something else, or did you know you were going to stay in boxing and keep going forward?
No, I actually got angrier and I got more amped up to keep on going because I didn't feel like, maybe I don't got it. Maybe this and this. I knew I had it. I just got beat by a better fighter, more experienced fighter. I didn't get hurt. I was fine, Manfredi, I didn't feel like I lost. So I was fine. Valenzuela, I knew it was just one of those one-punch lucky knockouts that it could happen to anybody. And I knew what happened. So it's not that Julio should move on. He's done. He can't defend himself no more. I can be a great fighter. So I knew what the problem was, you know. So and I proved that. I came back and became a champion again and again and again. Like with Juan Diaz. With Juan Diaz was the fight that I will never forget till the day I die. That's a fight that I've always. I mean, it was perfect fight for me. The styles that worked for me. And he didn't have no power and I had no trouble with him. I asked for that fight for so long, and when it finally came in, it came in a bad time. I lost 37 pounds for that fight, you know, and it was take it or leave it. It's finally here. You've been asking for it. But look I haven't fought in about a year. And I was punished by the promoters, so I wasn't doing anything. And I got big. My whole training camp was just to make the weight. And I made the weight very, very bad. I mean, literally very, very bad. I went through a lot to make the weight. And I remember a week prior to the fight thinking to by myself, I was like, you know what? I don't even care about the fight no more. It's already here. I just want to make the weight and not look best. You know, I don't want to disappoint a lot of people and cancel a fight. You know, I remember praying in my sleep, you know, okay, just help me make the weight. That was, Juan Diaz never crossed my mind winning or the fight or my title on the line. I just wanted to make the weight. When I made the weight that day, I felt like, okay, that's it. I made it. I won.
One fight down before you fought Juan Diaz, you fight Jesus Chavez for the IBF title, of course, and you go on and you knock him out. I mean, he was kind of like a tough little guy that could take a lot. You knocked him out in the third round. Would you say that was power, or would you say you just kind of caught him there early?
Well, I've always had power. You know, my knockouts show I've had power. But Chavez was he was a guy I respected, like, cause I was kind of like a fan of him because he's a good warrior and a good fighter, and he always came in good fights. I knew I was gonna have to fight a lot to get a victory off of Chavez. He just won't let you walk away with the win that easy. And I was surprised, you know, when I think he said he injured some knee or something. But you know what? I just walked away from it like, well, you know what? Thank God it went this way, and I'm gonna move on.
Rolando Reyes. What do you remember about that fight?
I walked in there like a sparring session. I knew Rolando Reyes. I hired him. I took Rolando Reyes to Big Bear, who was my sparring partner when I fought Cepeda. And I knew we were friends back then. We sparred a lot. We were living together. So I was like, oh man, Rolando Reyes again. All right, whatever. I've been ready. Casamigos canceled. We're a week away. Yeah, whatever. I better take advantage. I'm in shape. Let's just fight. But I didn't take in consideration that I prepared myself very good for a southpaw. All my movement, my angles, and everything. So when I finally fought Rolando, I trained to move to the left side all the time. And that was his right-hand side all the time. He landed that right all the time. I couldn't get off of me. I was like, what's going on? But I was natural trained for 8 weeks to always move to the left. Always move to the left. So I was always running into it.
And would you say his style kind of while you were fighting him, got you bored, or maybe even put you to sleep?
Yeah,
you know,
that got me bored.
He knocked you out?
Yeah, he got me bored. And people bullying and stuff. I was like, man, I better just go in there and do something. I don't want to be booed like that. I don't want to look like that. Even his movements were slow and lazy, and he wasn't trying. And at that moment, I just wanted to look good, and look what happened, you know?
Your last fight, what do you remember about that fight?
Look, for me, I know it's sounding like every fight I have an excuse, but, I mean, with Kendall Holt, I was ready, completely ready, you know? And I just don't know. I mean, you know, you saw when I got caught in the first round, nothing happened. I got amped up again. I wanted to give a good show. I started calling him out. I was just so ready, and I felt so strong and superior than him that I was picking a fight. My brothers got mad, my corner got mad. They were like, what are you doing? Stick to the game plan. And every time I was in there, I was so pumped up, and I felt so strong and so good. I was looking to make a statement, you know. They always promise me this. They always say this and that, and I get no fights. So they throw Kendall Holt, like, okay, I'm going to show him. You know, I'm going to put Kendall in a bag and send him out. And I didn't want to win. I wanted to win with the bang. I wanted to knock Kendall out. And I walked into my own problems. You know, what can I say?
You know, we're all big boxing fans. Us fans love action. We pay for that. That's what we want to see, and we respect that. All your fights that we've talked about and all the ones that we didn't talk about, you had that mentality of you're either going to knock me out or I'm going to knock you out. And
yeah, Kendall Holt, that's what I said in the interview.
When you have that mentality, you fight the way you do, and you get all the respect in the world from whether it be the fans, the boxing public, anybody that's not even fans that might just be watching the fight. But that's where you get your respect, and that's where you make your name, and you make yourself as a person. Again, we bring up names like Gotti and these guys. It didn't matter if Gotti won or lost. You know you were going to get one hell of a fight. You were going to get everything he had that night, and he will always be respected, no matter whether he had lost or won, or whether he was a champion or not.
Right.
That's what you pay to see. That's what boxing is. and that's what boxing is missing. And that's why I think it's in the condition that it's in now. Everybody wants to have a perfect record and wants to bounce around and not fight like they used to, and like people like you with their mentality do.
Yeah, and I think about it sometimes like that. I'm like, you know what, Julio, your record ain't perfect anymore. So don't worry about your victory or just keeping your record perfect. So my game plan now is just give a fight of the night, maybe a fight of the year, or maybe a performance that'll give me one good big fight on a good stage. You know, so my position is going to bring you good fights all the time because I'm not just trying to run around and protect myself just to get a win. I'm trying to make a point and a statement so they'll give me another shot. I'm trying to come out with a bang so anybody could see, you know what, this guy deserves another chance. So every time I come in the ring, I come to bring it, you know, and I work hard for that. And, you know, whether it goes my way or it goes the other way, but at least I know I can fight.
And when you first started your pro career and before you went in the ring for the first time, what were your goals for your whole pro career there, and did you accomplish them?
Yes, honestly, I did because my dream was to be a world champion. Then I accomplished that twice. My dream was to make a living through boxing, and thank God I did. And whether I'm keep on going doing it or not, you know, one way or another, through boxing, I've been able to do different things that I'm making my living right now. So it's been a good career for me. I've been blessed. You know, I wasn't your Pacquiao or your Mayweather, your De La Hoya, but my name's out there. My kids will grow up and they'll be able to see you know, different archives of their father, videos or clips. As of right now, you know, all their teachers, you know, they all can't believe, oh, I'm their dad. Parent conference, they want to meet me, you know, everywhere I go. So my kids feel proud of that, you know, and I feel accomplished because my kids are proud of their father. Other friends, oh, your dad is Julio Diaz. Like, no, you know, and my daughter comes and asks me, can I have a picture? My teacher wants one. The principal wants a picture of your dad. He said, okay, yeah. And for my daughter to feel proud like that of her dad, I'm accomplished. That's my world title, you know? Yeah, because even to the day, you know, I'm not here, at least my kids will have something to talk about their father and something positive. Who knows, one day you'll run into my daughter. Oh, I remember your father. Great guy. I was a big fan. He did this and that. Whether I be late gone already, my daughter will still older and, man, they still remember my father. And everywhere when she walks around, they're going to remember her father in a good manner and with respect. So like I said, I'm happy and I'm blessed and I can't complain, you know. Now, even if I have to go back and work my regular job, I'm fine, you know. I already did go with my family. I got them going. We're in a good position, and I got my good company going. My employees are happy. I'm happy. I'm living simple, and I enjoy my career. And I got one more fight. And I mean, I don't got one more fight. I got one more shot. I'm giving it my career. I'm coming back at 147.
And that's an awesome thing to hear about all that stuff that you got on side after your boxing career, even, you know, should it end, like you said, after that one more fight or not. It's great to hear that you have something or you have a plan B. It's great to hear about any boxer. There are some boxers that don't, and they keep fighting until, you know, they're in bad conditions. And that's the last thing that I like to hear of any story is for a sad ending like anybody else. And it's great to know that you got a plan B there.
Yeah, for instance, I remember I was training for Howdy, and I was gonna fight my world title fight, right? And I was in the hotel room before we left to the arena, and I was in my hotel room doing all my work, my business stuff through the phone for my employees and doing all the payroll and so forth. And my coach was like, "What are you doing? You're about to fight for the world title." I go, I know. Just wait, I'm almost done. You know, I've always been like that. And I came back instead of celebrating the world title. I just came back and ran around my job, check on my people, check around machinery, and I was always working on the job. Everybody here around locally, they see me. They always see me on the job. They always see my machinery working around the cities, and I enjoy that. I love mingling with everybody, going to the coffee shops in the morning and seeing all the contractors and all the people and all the city managers and so forth, and I enjoy that. You know, everybody, hey champ, you know, I'm living the life, man.
What kind of work do you do?
We do land clearing, heavy machinery, grading, paving, and so forth. You know, excavating.
You said you were fighting one more time. Who, when, and where?
Well, actually, they got me set up to fight January 27th against that provocative, the Russian guy. He only has one loss to Mauricio Herrera.
Yeah, he's a pretty tough competitor. I mean, what's your training going to be like for that?
I'm gonna train super hard because the way I see it, I mean, I got one more defeat in my career, and that'll definitely take care of my retirement. So I'm negotiating that fight at 145 or higher because I want to fight at 147 already. You know, I want to give it one last run in my career in which I could be healthy and not worry about my weight. That's always been my problem. I'm always draining myself, and then I run into like Kendall Holt. Any little punch, my body can't react to it. I'm just so weak. And so I wanna fight where I'm healthy, where I don't train just for the weight. I wanna be healthy. So at 147, I told them minimum 145, and they already posted a fight in Boxrec, Pachanga Casino on ESPN too.
So having said that, should you happen to win convincingly and be of course, Julio Diaz of old, do you think you might go again and continue should you win convincingly?
Oh yes, yes. I mean that's the only reason I'm going to take a fight that tough as a comeback, because I want to make a statement, and then I'm not going to just take on a chump and climb my way back up there. Let's do it. If I got to answer all the critics and questions, why not do it with somebody who's a credible fighter and a tough fighter? That's the only way I'll prove to myself and prove to my loyal fans that I'm really coming back. The way I see it, I got one more defeat and I'm really done. I won't waste my time anymore. But I want to do it at 147, in which I got no excuse and I'll be healthy.
Who chose this unpredictable fighter and the venue and all that? Was that your choosing or was that his choosing?
I have to say it was theirs, because that was offered to us. I mean, all this was offered to me, and I pretty much took it. Well, you know what? See, right now I know the boxing game. They ain't gonna offer me something that's to benefit me. Right now, everything that they throw at me is against me. So I'm willing to gamble on that and kind of build my way up there by making some upsets.
And should you lose, would it depend on how you lose, or just getting a loss would make you end it there?
Yeah, just a loss, because another loss would definitely put me in a lower stage in the boxing career, and I'm not about to throw away my career by being a punching bag or stepping stone for people.
What, in your opinion, what were your biggest strengths in the ring? Would it be power? Would it be speed? Would it be heart? What would you consider your biggest strength?
That's a good question. I think to me, as for myself, I think it was just a little bit of everything, just enough. It wasn't really one definite thing. It was I had power. I was a good, skillful boxer. I wasn't just a pressure fighter. I was very flexible with. I could box. I could brawl. I'm a southpaw. I fought right-handed. I had decent speed. I had decent power. So I would say I was a well-rounded fighter, just enough of everything. And I really, because that's a good question, because I never walked in relying on just knocking people out on my power, or I never relied on just outboxing somebody. No, it was always just a mixture of everything. I will outbox and be picking and picking until I hurt them, and then brawl to finish off.
Is there anything that you would change about your career? Like you wish you would have fought somebody that you didn't, or the other way around, that you fought someone that you wish you shouldn't have? Do you have any regrets like that?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest regrets I have, I think if I had to change anything, I think I would have tried to do, which I feel bad, embarrassed saying it, but I wish I would have been a boxer 24/7. I should have been a boxer every day, all day. Living as a boxer. Unfortunately, I didn't. I was trying to live a normal life and be a professional athlete, be a world champion. Be the owner of my company, be this. I was trying to do everything at once. I just got too much task on me, and I wish I would have paid 100% on one thing, not just picking here and there. I'm curious to see what I would have done if I would have put more, 110% into being what I was. I wish I would have seen what I could have gave.
How would Julio Diaz, or how does he want to be remembered?
You know what? I'm glad, just the way you described me yesterday. I'm glad you were honest about it. And that you're a fan, and that's just your opinion. And that's what I get a lot from a lot of people. And so far, that's the way people remember me. Just a good fighter who didn't care to risk it all and fought anybody that they threw at him, and fought the tough fighters. And I always came to fight with it. I knock you out or I get knocked out, but I came to perform. I guess I'm satisfied with that. I think that's what the sport is about.
Your message to your fans, your family, your friends, how do you want people to see you, whether it be in the sport or out of the sport? What message would you have for them of what you were about every day that you walked in that ring to perform the way you wanted to perform?
Oh man, well first of all, man, I couldn't have done it without them. The family, the friends, and everybody. I always push myself to impress them, make them feel proud, and I worked hard for everybody. Every time people paid a ticket to see Julio Diaz, I always made sure, whether I paid the price and some other times, I always make sure they got their money's worth and they're happy. And and I was very appreciative of that, and I always worked hard for that. And that's the same reason I want to come back and clear my name and give those real fans that always supported me. I don't want to leave them down. I'm fine. I mean, I could move on already, but I just feel like I let my team down, my family down. I don't want my kids to have that last memory of me being knocked out. I want to end my career with my hands up and my fans to feel proud of me. And it really, you can't do it without them. I had a great career, and I enjoyed it all the time, and I had good treatment from everybody, and especially from my family. I enjoyed it. Even when I was a world champion, I didn't walk around like a world champion. Maybe I should have. Maybe it would have made me different, a different fighter, but I guess I didn't. I was always very grounded, and people that know me, they'll vouch for that. They always see me around. I told you the day I got the world title, next morning when I got home, I was on the job site working with my working boots, and I'm still here. I'm still the same. I'm always by myself, running around everywhere. I got no entourage. I got nothing. And I've always maintained it the same. I'm very approachable. People feel comfortable approaching me, and I'm just a friend just like you.
You have done that, and after that night in January, with all my heart, I'm saying that I hope I see you with your hands up, with your head up, most importantly. And from whether it be me or any other boxing fan, I'm sure they'd probably tell you the same. Thank you very much for being here, first of all, to do this interview. Thank you very much for all the memories you've given us. Thank you very much for being straight up and honest with us with this interview. And thank you for just being yourself, Julio Diaz.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys always being interested in myself or my brothers, the Diaz brothers, and I hope we could meet all your expectations and everybody, who has high hopes for us. We're still trying and we're still shooting for the stars. But there's no quitting us, and we try to set that example with all the kids we train in our gym. Don't ever believe when somebody tells you you can't do it. You can't do it. Put your mind to it, and everything's possible. That's what I try to teach all the kids here at the gym, and that's what I'm trying to show them as an example. See, I'm down right now, and I'm coming back up, and I will, because I've done it before. And you look at my career, when Valenzuela dropped me, I didn't disappear. I came back, and I got my world titles. I got beat again, and I came back, and I got another world title. And I think that's what defines a real champion to me. Everybody always has a downfall in their life, whether it's personal life or as an athlete. But only the few come back up and succeed or make something of it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to do.
You couldn't have said that any better, and amen to that. And thank you again very much for doing this, Julio, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Albert. You guys have a good day.